You ever feel like things are just falling apart on you and like you're trying to do one thing, but then you have to catch up on 3 other things before you get started? That's how I'm feeling today. I was going out to the truck. This truck has over 250,000 miles on it. I don't drive it very much. I've not started it forever, so I went out to say, hey, let's make sure it starts, make sure I don't have to do anything before I need to drive it today. And then I looked down and the tire was flat, and how I didn't notice that, I don't know. The tire was completely flat, so we got the spare on it. Okay, maybe the valve stem. That's what I was suspecting. I already had a pretty big list to do today, but this just like adds stuff to my list because I was going out to get some hay. We're waiting for someone to deliver us round bales, which will should get us through the winter for our cows, but we haven't gotten those yet, and we're running out of hay, so we got to get some pretty much ASAP. This truck is the vehicle to get it in, and I think I still have time to get there, not too crazy late. So let's try to start it now, what we were doing first thing this morning.
It's totally dead.
The battery's totally dead, so I'm just gonna pull this van up, grab my jumper cables. Things just seem to stack. Whew.
Okay, yeah.
What's up?
Whoa.
I'll give this battery a few minutes to charge. I was talking about things stacking up earlier. I already had this on my list, but as I went inside to grab the keys to this van, Bree said, hey, the black tank on the camper's full. That's not a surprise to me. I knew it was gonna happen today or tomorrow or the next day. I'm about to go back to work, so I was planning on doing it today, but I was planning on already having it done today. Okay, got the Toyota started, thankfully. Hey Bree, how are you? We're doing good. We got the hay. It's terrible. I mean, it's just rough. I'm gonna feed it in the barn because there's seeds and stuff in it. I don't want it out in the pasture. And all that'll get composted. There's a lot of green in it, but there's a lot of brambles in it too. It's like, I think it's like probably the first cut off of a pasture they're trying to start cutting hay on again. So it's some of the worst hay I've seen. But there's a lot of green grass in it too. It's just, I tore my hands up just picking them up. No, your hay shouldn't cut you. I'm gonna hold off on going and getting a whole load of animal food because we have alfalfa. I'm gonna talk to Grace about kind of cutting down on how much she's feeding the chickens a little. She's feeding them one of those red buckets per day for all the geese and all the chickens, which maybe that's not too much. But seeing that the chickens are loose half the time, we don't need to feed them that much. So we'll be home pretty soon. And my tire was flat. I just threw some air in it. I'm gonna see if it holds. I'm not gonna take it in yet. See you. Okay, thanks, bye, love you. Sorry y'all, we'll have better hay soon. There's plenty of good food in there, plenty of grass. Yeah, I know. The reason I'm running out and buying 10 bales and all this goofiness is because we're just waiting on a shipment of brown bales to come in from South Carolina. Good price, good hay. As soon as that happens, we'll be set. And I think it's gonna happen before we run through the stuff that we have left and the stuff we got today. So that's that. I want you down here between her and the road so that if she walks towards the road, you can just direct her back. You don't need to hit her. That pole is just to intimidate her and show her how big you are. So stay between her and the road. And I'll be in the yard. Just holler if you need anything. I'm okay if she goes and eats the grass over here. If she's there, you'll need to be standing in the edge of the road. She doesn't run like the steer does and the bull. So you're mainly an alarm. If she does decide to take a walk, I'll go down and steer her back, okay? While I'm doing this job, this is the poo pump job. I'm gonna let the cow out because I'm right here in the yard. The cow's right over here. Would not even let her be out with the steer because the steer is wild and he will run. He's just young and so he likes to run. So he'll get out here and he'll run from one neighbor's yard to the other neighbor's yard. And if she's out, she'll follow him. But when she's out alone, she's chill. We've done this many, many times. And the most she does is just kind of amble around our yard. She's a super chill animal. This is looking like this is gonna be about a once every week and a half job. It's been about 10 days apart that I've had to do this. It takes me 30 minutes to an hour, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. It's working for us. But I did it Sunday a week ago, and now it's, what is this, Wednesday, so it's right at a week and a half. All right guys, house update. We're about to have a contractor show up and do a walkthrough with us, talk to us about our plans. He's a friend of ours.
He comes highly recommended though I've talked to multiple people that he's done work for. And on top of that, he knows a lot about renovation. For those of you that don't know, our plan is to completely gut our house down to the studs and then rebuild from there. We do plan to change the layout of the house, and if we can, we'd like to put an addition on it. We don't know if that's possible yet. Okay, so so many people have said, what's taking so long? Why haven't you started on your house? There's many reasons for what's taking so long, and there's a lot of reasons why we haven't started on our house. And so one of the reasons is that we've just, well, a while back, I mean, we just were kind of overwhelmed, and the only thing we could think about was getting out of our house, and we got that done. And once we got settled into our camper, we were able to actually start thinking about what do we want to do, how do we want to move forward. But ultimately, we would like to use a contractor, and we need a contractor that's going to allow us to do some of the work that we are capable of doing ourselves and that we want to do ourselves. There's someone who has been waiting on us for quite some time to submit a bunch of measurements and things like that to create for us a blueprint. So they've been waiting on us on that. Arthur's almost got that done, and then they're going to start working on that. And ultimately, we need a contractor, and we need maybe not a blueprint, but we need a sketch of the house in order to go to the bank and get a loan. And I know some of you are thinking, why do you need a loan? You were given a huge sum of money.
I'm going to answer that. It's because basically, we're basically building a new house, minus the foundation, minus the siding, minus the roof, and minus some of the framing. We're basically building a new house here.
And on top of building a new house, we also have to fix the mold damage, grade, move some buildings that are blocking where we can put the grade. And then we also want to add on if we can do that financially. I
wish we were further ahead on this project now, but I honestly, when you think about doing a project of this size, normally you would have been planning for months and months and months getting ready before you actually started it.
So that's what we've been doing, is planning.
We were just like, oh my,
at first we were just deers in headlights.
Like, what happened? And now, so we've been kind of, we're out of the house, but we're doing I honestly think we're doing it in fast motion. We're talking about building a new house and essentially designing and building a new house, even though it's a renovation. That normally you take months to even years of planning before you break ground or start demo. So that's what we're doing, and we're gonna have our ducks in a row when we start. I'm not under no illusions that it's gonna go really fast, but once we start, it will actually move forward. Things will happen once we start. It's gonna just go non-stop. So basically, once we find a contractor, which around here is actually really challenging because most contractors are booked for months and months, and we don't even know what he's going to tell us tonight. He might say February is as soon as I can start. So I'm just hoping that he will take this job on because we know him, because we know his work is meticulous and that he's fair and honest, and also because he's done tons of renovation work, not just new builds, and also because we think he's gonna let us do the pieces of the puzzle that we'd like to accomplish ourselves. And I had totally forgotten about this guy until, I actually know his wife pretty well, and his kids pretty well, and then it just hit me like, oh yeah, this is what he does. So what I'm excited about with this guy, if it ends up working with him, is that he's really his business is quite small, and that's kind of what we need.
Yeah.
If we're going to be involved in the project. Anyway, that's my hope. I'm not sure if that'll happen, but that's what I'm hoping for. So.
Yeah, and I think he might be lost because
he didn't text though, did he?
But you don't get service once you get lost out here.
I don't think he's lost yet.
So once we get our contractor and then we know what we're going to actually do to the house, which we're still working on, then we can go to the bank. And once the bank approves the loan, then it takes 6 weeks to close on it. So guys, it's slow motion around here, but we knew that going into this, and we are going at a pace that we are actually really comfortable with, because we feel like we've been given the chance to create something pretty incredible out of a really awful situation, mostly because of y'all's generosity. And so we are okay going slow and doing it right.
And in the meantime, it's like our daily lives. We have a kid with a broken bone, which is just crazy. He was
I mean, it's just every day.
He's trying to ride his bike today, which if you watched yesterday's video, you know he broke
his collarbone
riding his bike, and his arm is in a sling. He took his sling off and was riding his bike. I think I need to make his bike disappear.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Actually, that's what I thought was like, there's no
Where
way
is my bike?
to like discipline this. Like, there's no way.
Well, we do discipline him. It's just like you can't perfectly control his behavior.
You can't control anybody. So we're not going to control him. And I find with kids, one of the best things to do sometimes is just take the option away when they can't make a good choice. So he should be here any minute, and there's nothing else to say except that we're really excited about this step. And how close do you think you are to sending those plans and stuff to the architect?
One more measuring session.
Okay, so we need to make that happen.
An hour or two.
Okay, and then we'll have plans sent off to an architect, and he can start working with us. I gotta go check my rice.
All right, bye. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us, and we'll update you soon as to what's going on and how the kiddo's going. We've got another doctor appointment here coming up.